I'm Retro. This is Retro Clips. So for the first time in a good long while, people finally are back on board the Dragon Ball Super train. For a while, people were all like, if this is all Dragon Ball's gonna be, we might as well have just kept GT. But now people are actually starting to like Dragon Ball Super again. And it's all thanks to this guy. Thank you, evil Goku from an alternate universe who isn't really Goku but is still pretty much Goku. You single-handedly saved Dragon Ball. So for once, the Z-Fighters have absolutely no idea how they're gonna handle this situation. Usually, if they have a problem, they could just blast their way through it, or punch it until it dies. But this time, being that these people are immortal, or at least one of them is confirmed immortal, and the other has a sane body that's just as powerful as theirs, instead of just trying to directly overpower the villain like they always do, they're gonna try to outsmart it this time. And so last episode, Goku spent the good final 5 minutes of the episode learning how to do the Mafuba, a sealing technique where an opponent doesn't necessarily have to be stronger than another opponent in order to beat them. This was a technique that Master Roshi attempted to use on Piccolo way back in the original Dragon Ball anime. It failed back then, but that isn't to say the technique isn't without its merits, because Master Roshi's teacher is the one who used the technique in the first place to seal Piccolo away, so we know that it can be used, and it can be done properly. So now, Goku's gonna give it a shot. Back in the day, the Mafuba was said to kill the user when they used it, but now Goku isn't dying from using it, so let's just assume that the fact that he's all-powerful gives him the ability to use it without dying. Moving on. While Goku and Vegeta continue to search for a way to defeat Black and Zamasu in their universe, Trunks and Mai continue to fight. Mai even has an interesting subplot wherein she attempts to murder Black with a bullet specifically designed to murder strong people, made by this timeline's Bulma before she died. So Bulma could have beaten Goku all along? But it failed. Because not only is Black super strong, he's basically god-tired. Black moves to wipe out Mai and the Alliance, but right in the nick of time, Trunks shows up and uses his new transformation to beat the snot out of Black. Of course, with Zamasu by his side, Black and Zamasu are just too powerful of a duo for Trunks to even hope to overcome. The fight escalates and moves into the city, where Goku and Vegeta show up out of nowhere. Somehow, in all the commotion, the pot that they're planning to seal the villain in has broken, and so now it's up to Goku and Vegeta to hold off Zamasu and Black long enough for Bulma to fix it. Black goes into the fight expecting it to be the same exact thing as before, but Vegeta promptly kicks his ass because, as it turns out, he just got done training in the hyperbolic time chamber for an indescribed amount of time. It seems like Black and Zamasu are finally on the ropes, and the Z-Fighters are on their way to taking them down. The Black arc is by far one of the best arcs in all of Dragon Ball history, on par with the likes of the Piccolo Saga, the Frieza Saga, and the Cell Saga. Bringing back a character we all thought was long gone and could never come back into the universe again was a brilliant move on Akira Toriyama's part, as well as the directors of Dragon Ball Super, that in the long run is gonna pay off for them because hey, he's basically a Saiyan John Connor. What's not to like about the guy? The fact that everything seems to go wrong for Trunks' universe is, well, one of the saddest things about Dragon Ball, well, also one of the most hilarious things about Dragon Ball. You can pretty much consider Trunks' timeline to be the darkest timeline in all of Dragon Ball Z, and still there's hope. It's also nice to see the Z-Fighters get humbled by the fact that Trunks is about 1,000 times the hero that they'll ever be. Trunks actually gives a shit about the fate of humanity. The way Goku and Vegeta act, sometimes you could argue they could go 50-50. And just to rub it in their face, Trunks, the greatest thing about the Black Saga is the fact that we get a little nod into the Majin Buu saga of Trunks' timeline, wherein he managed to deal with Majin Buu simply, whereas the Z-Fighters had to go through all this convoluted fighting within themselves and eventually allowed Majin Buu to be resurrected. Trunks didn't allow that. And it's nice to see that even though he was just one guy, he managed to single-handedly save the universe because he wasn't being a prick about his ego, like some other Saiyans we know. I am Retro. This is Retro Clips.